How disappointing was that Bucks and Packers game? Like, that literally looked like there were two 40-some-year-olds out there. And I know Rodgers isn't 40 yet, but that literally looked like two 40-some-year-olds out there. However, the coaches did Tom Brady no favor. Now, Tom Brady, they had to sign Cole Beasley off the street. Every single one of the receivers is hurt. What's his name is suspended, was suspended for the game. Their top wide receiver.
Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans, sorry.
They're without Chris Godwin.
Godwin out, Julio Jones out. Julio Jones was out, Godwin was out, and Evans was suspended.
So you kind of expected like it to be, this back and forth defensive battle at that point. At least that's what the Bucs were hoping, and Bucs have got a good enough defense that I'm sure they, for a game they can hold up, and they were. So Bucs are doing nothing. We're in the fourth quarter with 9 minutes left. The Bucs pick up a 25-yarder on a pass. They're at 1st and 10 at the 50. They decide to do this like triple option pitch back flea flicker that then loses them 12 yards because Brashad Berryman fumbles it. And now they're second and 22, and then next play Brady gets sacked. Now they go to 3rd and 30 and completely just blow a drive. Again,
the sheer number of turnovers in this game was shocking.
Shocking.
Receivers getting stripped of the ball, balls on the ground nonstop. I mean, it was so sloppy. And you really felt like, man, both quarterbacks really want to prove something going into this game. And, and Aaron Rodgers started off fantastic. I think he started off at 12 for 14, something like that. I mean, really, really looking good. But, man, it was just an ugly, ugly, grinding game to watch. And, it was not what you would expect. And there's so much hype around it. Like, two of the greatest quarterbacks ever, head-to-head, maybe for the last time. And, good Lord, they looked disinterested, is putting it very, very mildly.
I'm telling you, Aaron Rodgers regrets signing that deal. I mean, just the look on his face.
Yes.
That dude hates his life right now. I'm sorry. They're winning because he's Aaron Rodgers. They're in Green Bay. He hates life. He hates it there.
And I don't think Brady's loving life either right now. I mean, I'm sure Brady every day is wondering, why in the hell did I do this? Why did I come back for one more year?
Yeah.
But I'm getting nagged constantly. My home life's miserable. My work life sucks. It's just, the guy looks horrendous when you see him. It's like, good God, man. He looks like he just escaped a concentration camp. I don't understand what's happening there. There's so many interesting layers to that story that we will never find out. But, oh, my goodness, man, that is a guy who could have sailed off into the sunset and just can't stay away.
Well, it's hard to give up the game, right? They love it.
Yeah, sure.
It's what they live and die for. But, I mean, here's what I'll say. If I'm gonna look long term, right? We know this is week 4. We know that this is everything's or week 3, whatever we're in. Here's what I'll say. Aaron Rodgers, we know he has trust issues. He doesn't trust any of his receivers. They're all young. None of them has proven himself. He has Cobb there, but for whatever reason, he can't see the field. He's not doing anything for him.
Can't see the field because he has cateracts. Randall Cobb has been playing. He's like 58 years old. I mean, I don't know how he's still out there. The guy's got glaucoma.
With Tom Brady, though, his receivers are good enough. He can trust them. He just ran into a situation where those guys just aren't on the field. Later on in the season, he's going to be better off than Aaron Rodgers is going to be because that trust thing, that's going to nag him the entire year. If he doesn't trust them now, what makes you think come playoff time that he's going to be willing to trust throwing them the ball then? His running backs, he's going to live and die by throwing it to his running backs and running the ball, and then every now and then hoping that Lazard can get open enough so that he can throw him the ball because he's about the only guy that he trusts in that offense that they're running. So
100%.
Of everybody, of the two, we do know that unfortunately, because I don't care for Tom Brady, he is the one that's going to end up looking better because his weapons are better in the end.
They will get stronger as the year goes on.
There's no way you were thinking that 26 points was going to be the total of that game when it was all said and done, because that's all they gave us was 26 miserable points.
Yeah.
Well, and
here's the thing, though. This is the one thing I don't I would be remiss if I allowed us to move on from this game without touching on this fact. Separate from receiver issues, health issues, blah, 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 this game ended in the Packers' favor due partially, if not largely, to mental errors by Tom Brady and the rest of that team. I feel like Brady gets a pass. You know, when we see Russell Wilson come out and do the same unbelievably boneheaded, stupid plays, that guy's going to get criticized, as he should be. I hate that guy. But Brady goes out and makes the same stupid mistakes. How are you getting, like, you know, delay of game calls and all this type of stuff? It's like, come on, man. Like, this is not possible. And that has never been an issue for Brady throughout his career.
That's what it is.
It's the rings. The rings. Yeah. I mean, what can you say?
That's what it is.
I just do not want to see him let off the hook.
To ever do it.
He's a great winner, but I just think we're remiss to just let him off the hook. This is a guy who looks miserable, playing miserable, and now we're starting to see mental errors creep in that just have never been there before. And it happens when your personal life's falling apart, right? I mean, that's you're going to be a little distracted. The guy's a train wreck, but you know, at the end of the day, those things are interesting. You know, when that mistake gets made, a delay a game with the game on the line, man, you can't blame a receiver. Like that's a quarterback issue.
Well, whose fault was that?
Management.
Who do we put that on? Like you score that touchdown, you have to have a play already. So they break that huddle, and it was the right play. Leonard Fournette is walking in, literally walking in on that play. I mean, that defense was set up perfect for that run play. So it was the right call. But did Brady try and check out of it? Did they come in with two plays? Did they not have a play? Like, oh crap, we scored.
Doesn't make sense.
I put that on one of my coaching blunders, but then I was like, all right, well, who does that really fall on? Like, is that Brady? Because obviously, you know, he controls it. But
hey, Brady has the coach he wanted to have also.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's the thing, guys. We always fail to forget that at the end zone, on a giant wall that protects the people from the field to be on the field,
big ass clock.
There is a clock.
Yeah.
A clock right in front of him with big ass numbers that tells you how much time is left before you need to get everybody set up and on the line.
Yeah. And if you didn't have a play called, and put it this way, here's the other thing too. I think, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty confident that when it's Tom Brady, who we all know, I mean, I feel like there's for some reason, it's like this willful ignorance that people are pretending that this guy did not have Bruce Arians forced out, right? It's very obvious that's what happened. So he wanted to do his thing. He wanted to get rid of Bruce Arians. He got his way. He has Todd frickin' Bowles installed as the head coach. Not a knock on Todd Bowles. I have no idea if Todd Bowles is going to be a good head coach or not. I don't have any reason to believe he is, but I also don't have any reason to believe he isn't. But the bigger thing is there is no way that Brady himself has to wait for a Todd Bowles call to come in before he figures out what he wants to do at the end of the game. No, this guy, Tom Brady, we're not talking about, you know, I don't know, a Justin Herbert or somebody like that. Like that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about one of the longest tenured, most successful quarterbacks in all of the NFL history. And this guy is going in game on the line. I don't believe he's standing there just going, well, guys, nobody gave me a play. I just don't see that happening. So I think he's not lost wondering what's going on. What's the play call? He's scrambling around trying to figure things out. There's no confusion there. That's just not what's happening.
Yeah, no, we listen, we're quick to praise coaches and all their brilliance and everything that it is that they do. So I have to believe that there was two plays called, that he had those already in his mind of what he was going to do. He just failed to look at the clock and get that done. And personally, like I like we alluded to earlier, like clock management, that wasn't the only game where somebody had a play as time was expiring, you know, and this was live play, not after a touchdown, and it ended up costing them. I don't know if you were going to touch on it, Jeff, but that game that happened down here in South Florida with Miami playing, you know, the Buffalo Bills, at the end of that game, clock management was an issue there as well. Absolutely. And more happened in that game that we could probably touch on, and I would like for us to touch on. I don't know if we're going to, but again, clock management on what you need to do as a player to know that the clock is going and how you need to get out of bounds, or you need to try to call a timeout or something. Even something needs to happen there. And I know that you practice these things and you didn't execute it in the game.
Did not execute. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, no, we'll definitely get to the Dolphins game because that's one of my blunders. But
so in closing, though, Brady sucks. Probably should have retired a long time ago. His wife hates his guts.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers.
The wheels are off.
Aaron Rodgers is miserable in Green Bay. Yeah, no, that pretty much sums it up. So.
Again, real high-level headlines. Yeah, if anyone wants the Cliff Notes version, I think Brady could be suicidal. Hopefully not. Praying for his mental health. And Aaron Rodgers is just mad all the time.
Sure. No, it's just a very, very mad guy.